I was not able, this whole side of my face, I was not able to use it. Even just a simple cup, I couldn't wrap my lips around the cup to drink it. So that's how scary it was. I was only 20 years old. And the doctor told me that it was due to stress. I was 20 years old and half my face was paralyzed due to stress. I was so confused. I was like, how does that happen? And that was the first time I realized that what is happening internally for you can actually affect your external body and your external life. I had to wear an eye patch around campus. I was attending George Washington University in Washington, D.C. And can you just imagine the social suicide I had to experience walking around with the eye patch? People were like, did you go out last night? Did that happen last night? But I had something called Bell's palsy. Is anyone familiar with that? Or has anyone experienced it themselves? Bell's palsy lasts for a few months. So for a few months, I couldn't use this side of my face, but that moment changed my life forever. I became a certified life coach and a health coach, and I really understood the importance of stress management and self-care from that moment onwards. I've coached over 200 clients in the past 5 years, and what I've realized is no one really knows what self-care is. What is self-care exactly? We constantly hear all these marketing commercials about spa days and mani-pedis and going out with your friends and things like that. And all of those things are wonderful, but they're only a very small part of self-care. There's such deeper work that you can do so you can feel your best and show up as your best in the world. So I'm going to share with you 3 simple self-care tools that you can use in your daily life. And in fact, you can even use today. There's a long day of sessions today, so you might need a little bit of energy and refresher throughout the day to help you do that. So the 3 self-care tools are super simple, and I kept them all C so you can remember them. Okay, so it's compassion, connection, and creation. And I just wrote it down here as well, so you can see that for yourself. Compassion is the first one and probably the most important. I remember when I was driving to a conference a few years ago, and I really wanted to get there early. I wanted to sit in the front row. I wanted to digest all of the information, and I got late. And on the drive there, I'm like cursing, I'm yelling at myself, I'm being so mean to myself. And I'm just like, how could you do this? You messed it all up. And I created this stressful situation inside of myself. And as I was driving, I knew that I didn't want to bring this energy with me into the conference because I knew it was going to trickle down with me for the rest of the day. Have you experienced that before? You wake up in the morning and something happens that just flips your switch, triggers you, and then it carries with you for the rest of the day. Like how people say, oh, I woke up on the wrong side of the bed today, right? So that's kind of what happened to me that day. And I remember as I was driving to the conference, I was trying to pull out every self-care tool possible. I was trying to coach myself. I was trying to get in my feelings, understand how can I move through this? And nothing worked, nothing. Because when you're in that kind of an emotional state, you're kind of like concrete. You can't really move. You feel kind of stuck. You might resonate with that. You're like, oh, I want to feel better, but I can't. So in that moment of stress, compassion. Compassion is what's going to save you in that moment. And it can be as simple as saying kind words to yourself. So in that moment when nothing was working, I just stopped and I was like, hey, Aditi, I know you really wanted to be there. I know you're struggling right now. I know this is really hard, but everything's going to be okay. And I love you so much. I'm so proud of you for getting up today and coming to this conference. You're going to get exactly what you need. And immediately my entire system calmed down. When nothing else works, compassion is what you want to turn to, because compassion can totally shift that stress energy that is sitting in your body. So, the question that you want to ask yourself when you're finding yourself in a stressful situation, or even just antsy or irritable, even as you're sitting through the sessions today, and you can feel yourself feeling a little like, oh, I just been inside all day. The question you want to ask yourself is, how can I be kind to myself right now? How can I be kind to myself right now? And that could be words that you speak to yourself. That could be an action you take, whatever that looks like. But most importantly, you're extending compassion to yourself. Okay, so that is the first tool, first self care tool to help you break through any kind of heaviness that you're feeling inside of you. The second one, connection. We live in such a hustle culture, in such a busy culture where we're constantly on the go. I don't know where we're going, but we're all going somewhere. We're just constantly on the go. You know, even with marketing, they're always advertising breakfast on the go, you know, this on the go, that on the go. No one knows where we're going, but we're just going somewhere. We're very busy. We're very busy people, right? So in that busyness, we end up becoming disconnected from ourselves. We end up becoming disconnected from who we are and what we need. And that's another reason we experience a level of stress, because we're not even tuned in into what is going on. And that's what happened to me when I had Bell's palsy. I was experiencing a level of stress and pain, but I actually decided to just ignore it and push it under the rug, which all of us do, right? We don't got time to be stressed out. We got to go places. We got places to go, right? We don't got time to connect. But really, the connection is what will tell you what is really needed right now. What do you really need right now? Our bodies are powerful messengers. My body literally exploded in my face when I ignored the emotions that I was feeling. I wasn't connected to the deep pain that I was feeling in that moment. So, whatever you're going through in any moment, instead of trying to fix the situation, which we often tend to do, right? We just want to make it better. We got to change this. I want you to connect to yourself. And what does that look like? It can be as simple as asking yourself this question. And it helps if you want, you can put your hand on your heart and ask yourself, what do I really need right now? What do I really need right now? And you may not know the answer right away, and that's okay. The important part is that you're asking the questions, because once you ask the question, that is what opens the door. That is what opens the door to a potential answer that will come up for you. All right. So, first, you're going to start with compassion for yourself, practicing kindness towards yourself, and then connecting to yourself, connecting to what is it that I need right now. Asking yourself questions can really, really help you break through any obstacles you're going through. So you can then make decisions from that space. And that brings me to the third one, which is creation. Creation is where you are actually caring for yourself. That's where you're taking the action. So once you find out after connecting with yourself what it is that you need, the creation is actually giving yourself whatever that may be. So that could be comfort, that could be more compassion, that could be a break, it could be a cozy blanket. You know, there are some days, for example, I am struggling with my mental health, and I work in the mental health field. I work with a lot of clients with depression and anxiety. So I have to be able to hold space for myself when I'm also holding space for other people. So sometimes when I'm just not feeling that great, I go through this process so I can get through my workday. And sometimes it's as simple as having a cozy blanket on my lap. So I just feel warm and fuzzy and comforted as I'm comforting myself through the day, as well as holding the space for my clients. So, anytime you're finding yourself in a stressful situation or you just want to up your self care a little bit, these three steps are really going to help you do that. Super, super simple. And those three questions is all you need. So, with compassion, how can I be kind to myself right now? Connection, what do I really need right now? And creation, the question is, how can I care for myself right now? How can I pour into myself right now? Okay, so these steps can be used in a specific situation, or it can be also used for long term situations, long term stress. Maybe there's a project you're working on with work. Maybe you have a heavy situation happening for you at home that you have to work with or work through. These three steps will help you in short term stress, long term stress, or like I said, even for something like an event today, whether you are virtually at a conference or you're in person at a conference, you can always come back to bringing yourself compassion, asking yourself what you need, and then going and doing that. So even as you're if you have a lot of Zoom calls at work or you talk to a lot of people at work, asking yourself this can give you a little bit of that relief so you can have that space and that mental clarity so you can show up as your best self. And as Booker talked about, stepping into your full potential. And also, these are going to help you through any obstacles that you may have. This will help you feel more grounded, more in tune, and connected to yourself so you can show up and contribute to yourself and the world with your gifts. My name is Aditi Ramchandani. I am the upcoming author of a book called The Self Care Habit. That moment when my face got paralyzed really, really changed the course of my life. And now I want to invite people to not wait to work on those stressors until it becomes a crisis. Many times we start paying attention to this stuff after we already are admitted to the hospital. So my hope and mission is that we can actually catch those things and connect to ourselves way before we even get to that place where we're so disconnected that our body is screaming for help. Okay? I have a stress less guide that gives you a few tips to help you with any self care activities that you can use throughout your day, throughout your weeks, anything that looks like. So it's completely free and you can grab it at aditicreative.com/stress less. My book will be coming out this August. Super excited for it. And today I'll also be leading a breakout session at around 4:45 p.m. So if you're interested in connecting more, if you're interested in stepping into your self-care more and really taking your wellness to the next level, come join me for the breakout session. What I'm going to be doing is we're going to be talking about creating your personal self-care roadmap. So whether you are a beginner and just kind of stepping into wellness for yourself, self care for yourself, or if you are already practicing lots of things, you can come either way. We are going to be creating your self care roadmap. I'm going to be taking you through a process so you can create a process and a plan that works well for you. All right. Thank you so much, everybody. Super, super excited for all the speakers that are going to be speaking today. I am going to introduce the next speaker that we have here. The first speaker that we have next, her name is Linda Yang. She's the Vice President of Marketing for Florida Strategic Insurance. She's founded and served on multiple boards, helping people find pathways and resources for professional development. Please welcome Linda Yang to this virtual stage. Enjoy.